We've got a roster signing to cover on today's episode, along with some other news coming out of the bye week. So make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're looking for a free Browns YouTube spot. Hit that sub button down below. We're going to keep you guys informed and entertained all year long. Now, let's get right into it with the roster signing the Browns made today. It's a cornerback going from the Commanders practice squad right to the Browns' active 53-man roster. It is Chigozie Anusiem. I don't know if I got that 100% correct, but you guys can correct me in the comment section. So a former rookie, or a rookie this year, former UDFA out of Colorado State. And when I saw this signing, my first reaction was, probably like a lot of you, never heard of him before. Second reaction was, does this signing reflect something, or is it just signing because teams always make these minor 53-man roster adjustments throughout the season? Anusiem, he will join the Browns cornerback room and likely just be a depth player behind, of course, Denzel Ward, Martin Emerson, and Greg Newsome. Mike Ford and Cam Mitchell are the two immediate backups. Myles Harden, the rookie who they drafted out of South Dakota, is on injured reserve. So this is your sixth quarterback after Jalisier was waived a few weeks ago and added to the Browns practice squad. But when I first saw the signing, I thought, never heard of him. And are we about to get some injury news? Because this might be one of those signings where it is a little bit of foreshadowing for what is to come at the position. But then Kevin Stefanski spoke to the media today and said all Browns players on the active roster are expected to practice today. So very encouraging that coming out of the bye, the Browns do what teams are supposed to do in the bye, and that is get healthy, right? No, do not practice today. So very exciting to see that everyone is getting close to 100%. It's a shame that it comes when they are 2-7, but yeah, I don't think this is a reflection of any injury news at the cornerback position. It's probably just they traded Zadarius Smith away. They had an open roster spot, and clearly their NFC East scouts say, hey, this is a cornerback that we think is very talented, and cornerback's a valuable position to the Browns, so why don't we add some depth at that spot? Now, some other news that came out of the bye was Jed Wills, speaking to the media a few days ago, said that when he did not play in the Ravens game after the Bengals game, or vice versa, whatever it was a business decision. But the way he described the business decision, it really sounded like an injury decision. I mean, he talked about how injured his knee was. They had to drain fluid. He couldn't bend his knee. So the more he talked himself out of it really being a business decision, more of an injury, which was just a strange choice of words. And then Kevin Stefanski, speaking to the media today, said, I don't know why he really called it a business decision. Poor choice of words on his part. He was injured, so that's why we went to Dawand Jones. So they did not bench Jed Wills because of him calling it a business decision. They just didn't play him because he was injured, and then once he got healthy, they just stuck with the hot hand-ish at left tackle with Dawand Jones. But Wills is not on the bench because of a business decision. He's on the bench because he was injured, and then once he got healthy, his starting job was no longer available. So that's some of the news we got coming out of the bye week. But I want to spend the next part of the video just talking about the Browns corners in general, because I don't think this signing is going to move the needle much at all. But it does give me an excuse to talk about what the heck happened to the Browns' three corners. This was one of the biggest strengths of the team all of last season up until the playoff game. And then they completely pissed and crapped down their leg. And I thought, okay, one bad game, put it behind you, and get back to the regular season where you played like all-stars and Pro Bowl and all-pros last year. Unfortunately, that is not the case. So I want to explore how the decline for these three corners came about. More of a decline for two out of the three than all three, but still a regression across the board. Now, before we get to that part of the video, I want to give a quick shout out to a new sponsor here at Chat Sports, and that is Ollie. Today's episode is brought to you by Ollie, clean, fresh nutrition for your dog. Right now, Ollie is offering a fantastic deal to let your pup taste test a personalized meal plan. Get 60% off your first box of meals when you use promo code CHATSPORTS at ollie.com. In 5 flavors they'll absolutely love. You don't have to be a vet to know that feeding your dog real whole foods with minimal processing is one of the best choices you can make for their health. A perfectly portioned whole fresh food diet has been proven to extend your pup's life by 2.5 years. Who doesn't want more time with their best friend? Now, I can speak from experience because I've got a dog who has a sensitive stomach, and Cruz can be a little picky about what she eats. But we recently got Ollie, and we just slowly integrated it into her previous meal, and now she loves Ollie way more than what she was eating before. I can tell you, I've never seen her run faster to her dog bowl before than when we got Ollie. So, head to ollie.com and tell them about your dog. Use Chat Sports and you'll get 60% off your first box of meals when you subscribe today. Head to ollie.com and enter code ChatSports to get 60% off your first box. They'll offer a clean bowl guarantee on their first box, so if you're not completely satisfied, you can get your money back. I put all that information in the comments and description of today's video. Look how happy my pup is right there. Make your dog as happy as Cruz. Let's get back to the Browns' decline at the corner position. I mean, just across the board, Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome, Martin Emerson. Yards allowed and touchdowns allowed through about halfway of this season. They are all on pace for a career worst in yards and touchdowns allowed. Pro Football Focus is not the only way to measure players, but it's a solid start to it if you don't want to get into the weeds of film. And you can see what PFF thinks about Greg Newsome and Martin Emerson in particular, while Ward is just kind of middle of the pack. I'm trying to come up with ideas and reasons as to how it got to this point. And I've come up with two. Reason number one, more snaps on defense. Last year, the Browns were the best when it comes to 3-and-outs. They walked on the field and they walked off the field. And they still have a good third down defense this season. But they are on the field a little bit more than they were last year. And when you're on the field more, that opens up more opportunities for your corners to get targeted. I mean, so far this season, Greg Newsome has been targeted 42 times. Last year, through the first 9 games of the season, he was targeted 34 times. So, with more targets comes more receptions, comes more touchdowns. So that's the first reason as to why I'm noticing a decline for some of these guys. Martin Emerson's having it way worse, by the way. He's been targeted 52 times. Last year at this point, only 39 targets. So, with more of a sample size in terms of targets and balls coming your way, that's going to lead to more receptions and more touchdowns. So that's reason number one. Reason number two, they're not converting pass breakups into interceptions. They're not getting swagger and confidence, right? And so as a result, they're on the field longer because they're just breaking up a 2nd and 10 instead of getting off the field and reducing the snaps, thus reducing the amount of targets and then receptions and touchdowns that follow. But I went back and I was rewatching the film from earlier this season. And, I mean, this is week 1 against the Cowboys. And squint your eyes a little bit here, but Denzel Ward is standing right in front of the receiver, and this is a pass breakup. And listen, pass breakups are awesome, and the Warden has had some really impressive ones this year. But there are also some where they just need to be converted into interceptions. And unfortunately, that's not been the case this year. And I feel like defense compared to offense is a much more momentum-driven side of the football, right? When your corner comes up with an interception, your defense is going to be fired up. When your corner comes up with a drop pick, it's nice because it's an incomplete pass, but also it felt like you missed a really good opportunity. Last year, the Browns were converting on those opportunities. This year, they're not. They're tied for last in total takeaways with 5 with the Las Vegas Raiders. They are tied for last in interceptions with just 1. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah's pick at the goal line is the only interception. We're almost at Thanksgiving. They're on pace for like 2 picks this year. What happened? They're on the field more. They're not converting. That's the short answer right there. So how would you grade the Browns defense this season? A, B, C, D, or F? Give them a C+. I mean, they're not getting completely blown out. they've had some good stands. They've given the offense an opportunity to come back and win some games, and the offense wasn't able to come through, but I'd give them a C+ in my book. That's going to do it for us on today's episode. Make sure you are following us over on Instagram as well, Browns Report IG. Check us out over there if you're looking for more Browns content.